So here we are, guys. We're looking at Bethelak 2.0. No, not really. Elerethe Renferal is actually a scorned archdruid, and she has two different forms. It's a cool fight, guys. Enjoyed it. It was a little rough because, again, this seemed like a bad day for getting into a decent group. I should have known better, but hey, I went ally. I wanted to play on my shaman a little bit. But as you can see, there is shit everywhere, and we'll go over that right now. So the main thing that you're looking at, guys, you see the pool of pulsating crap that's on me. This is aids to the mass effect. What this is going to do is it's going to select, depending on your raid group, more than likely, but I noticed at least 2 to 3 people each time. And they start off with a general small little green cloud. You just want to move out of the group. Otherwise, when this thing starts ticking, it spreads, and you'll watch a couple of these pulls, and you'll end up seeing exactly what I'm talking about. It just goes dun, 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 dun. Every time it ticks, it will spread to the next person. It is absolutely freaking horrible, and it's got a huge range on it. The other thing is, as you see, she goes up and she pulls out a bunch of little adds, and then she comes crashing back down and does humongous AE damage, and if you're inside of it, it's going to kill you. Now these adds, when they die, they spawn a pool of shit. Basically, all you got to do is just move out of them. You'll see the far one on the right there just died, and boom, green poison cloud. Nothing too interesting. Then you've got the webs. Basically, what it is one person gets damaged, the other person's taking 100% of that damage as shadow damage. So they just basically are chained together. They're both taking equal amounts of damage. But that's the basic of phase 1. If you learn how to spread, get it taken care of. That's the hardest part. You do have these eggs off to the side and this pushback mechanic, which can push you right in. And you notice the feathers. The feathers, you can end up grabbing them for phase 2 here, guys. And what it's going to do, you can see the tornadoes, the bridges. If you look at these 2 different platforms here, I know it's sitting all over the place because I had no idea, but one of them's purple. Basically, that's the Eye of the Storm. When she turns into the bird form, she flies up and she starts doing a mass AoE to anyone. It just keeps ramping and ramping and ramping to anyone that is not on that platform. And as we had a reset issue, so we're coming right back to it. But she'll fly up and she'll just fly to one of the other 2 platforms. The easiest way to find out which one it is, it's got a purple shadowy haze to it now. It's very easy to see once you know what you're looking for. Before knowing what you look for, it is like, where in the hell did the fucking bird go? But she flies up. When she first turns into the bird, she'll try and push everyone off. It's a real pain in the ass. And the reason for this is you still got people with the poison on, and they still got a couple ticks, and it can spread still. And if they're not segregated, no one's behind them, or they fall back, or someone runs back into them, it becomes a living nightmare. And the reason for this is just simply because that dot is the worst thing known to man. It spreads quick, and just consider it AIDS mixed in with like the zombie virus, guys, alright? It's just dump, 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 dump. It spreads, and it's over. You'll see in a couple of these pulls where it just looks like a chain reaction of bombs that just goes off, and you can't do nothing about it. It's just so much damage. So that's one thing that's really needing to be worked with a lot. The other thing here that we've got, if you take a look at the entirety of the room, you are on very little platforms. Each one has eggs. She does that pushback. She changes forms really fast also. Basically, she goes spider form, and then she goes up, she comes back down. Hopefully by that time you're done killing off her little spider fiends. And then once the spider fiends are done, she turns into the bird, she does her push, and then she takes off. Alright? And it's almost just as quick as I ended up saying it. I mean, you can watch right here. Hopefully this is one of the better attempts. But again, it's a lot of damage. The tanks take a lot of damage. If the adds, the other mechanic she has in spider form, or any form, is if you have any adds that are next to her, she gains 70% increased attack power, or I'm sorry, 70% increased attack speed, and 50% increased attack power, vice versa. I might have gotten a little dyslexic on that, but it's one or the other, and it ramps. Each ad that's there stacks this ability, guys, so you want to keep the ads away. You don't want the tanks to pick them up. You can basically tank them with your person. Just use a small cooldown and eat it wherever it's at. There's no reason for it anywhere else. But here comes the aids, and you just see it. It wipes everybody out just that fast. no matter what. It's just, it started with one person, they were grouped up with another group of people, and it just spread all over the place. It is absolutely retarded, but fun. I mean, once it's worked with, it'll be cool. It's just something that needs to be done. You don't have a lot of time in an hour. The group was a little uncoordinated, not as bad as what the other group was for the Nightmare Dragons, but it's still some of the same people from the same group. But we rebuild it into the other one, and you can see the bird. It just lands over there with the Eye of the Storm, and in when it's doing its whole ability, this damage, the only way to stop that AoE damage is to get to that platform. The purple platform is the Eye of the Storm, and it's going to do that. It's going to do some more AoE damage, but it quickly ends up changing from the bird form back into the spider form. It's supposed to end up doing like a AoE cleave, but it didn't stay in that form for too long at all. That's why there's very little footage of it. That and the fact that we were having trouble getting over there to begin with. Because there's tornadoes that come down that block your path. You can grab those feathers, but there's only so many feathers down per people in there. And you got to end up flying up, and you head over to that place. Like you jump, and it does like this float deal, and it lets you get over there nice and easy. But if you don't end up having that thing, you got to basically go across these web bridges that are a pain in the ass to see. You got to jump from one to the other sometimes just to get to it. And as you can see, I just put it down. It's the AIDS. That's what kills us in almost every single pull. But guys, this is a fun, ridiculously stupid fight. If you end up getting into this or any of the raid testing, I do suggest that you try and get in because it gives you a good first look at what they have intended for you. And this currently is probably something that they're going to end up fixing, because like I said, it doesn't stay in the bird flight phase too long. We did get it to where we got over there at one point in time, and then it wasn't but a matter of seconds before it transitioned, and then but people ran across the spider eggs on the bridges, and next thing you know, we had 10,000 spiders, and the tanks got one shot because of all the debuffs. So just something to keep in mind, guys. Outside of this, I mean, it was fun. It was enjoyable. There's poison on me. These eggs, if you run into them, they actually grab you and they'll pull you into the egg itself. You'll see, I think I get pushed into this one. Really a painful setup, guys, but it's still an enjoyable, very, very enjoyable progression fight, and something that everybody needs to end up doing. These fights are no joke coming out of the alpha testing. I mean, some of them are really rough, but other ones, once you get figured out, it won't be too bad. But this is just absolutely insane right now. The way that thing spreads, it needs a slightly shorter area, because if you're coming in here with a 30-man group, you're not going to have a place for 30 people to spread out and not spread this thing like wildfire. If you end up coming in here with 20 people on Mythic, you're not going to have room. So they need to just kind of maybe cut the circle in half to about 4 yards, to where you can spread a little bit and still get it done. But the 8 yards just seemed really ridiculous to me. And again, this is just me. This is my personal thing. This was a pickup group. That might have been half the problem, because nobody seemed to know where they wanted to end up being. I was suggesting, hey, let's put everybody on one side, and then whenever they get the debuff, because you got a time limit before it actually starts. It starts with a solid green circle. I was thinking maybe if you could end up putting them on, having them run over to the other side, you'd be safe. But that didn't seem to be the case. I mean, that didn't seem to be the case. Nobody wanted to work with that. Nobody really understood the mechanic, and they weren't willing to test it. They wanted to do it their way and their way only. That was a situation I was stuck in, and it was very unpleasant. This is why I try not to go Alliance side, because it's hard to get anyone. And as you can see, these prayer mendings that are going everywhere, prayer mending is extremely broken right now. Holy priests are ungodly because of it, because it just bounces and bounces and bounces forever. You can have so many of them up, and it was cool because the Holy Priest was carrying almost everybody. Due to prayer mending. It was like almost 50%, 60% of their healing, just because of how much it was bouncing around to every little tick. So, fun piece, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's not a lot. I like bringing better quality stuff, but this is just like a first glimpse. It's not really a guide, again, because I didn't have enough quality footage to actually bring you guys any sort of guide. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll try and get you more content out so you can kind of see what you're going to get yourself into if you are wanting to raid. Alright, thanks again, guys. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and have a great day.